Welcome back to Your Dose. We're the plug for all things prevention.
I'm your host, Annalise, and today's prescription is SAMHSA Prevention Day. I'm here today with Jada and Hannah.
Hi.
Hannah is a new guest on our podcast, so Hannah, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, my name is Hannah. I am 15 years old, and I am in 10th grade.
Alrighty, nice to meet you, Hannah. Just kidding. So I'm going to be reading some of the questions here off of my phone today. But today we're here to talk about SAMHSA and SAMHSA Prevention Day. SAMHSA is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration Services. It's a government organization, and they focus on substance abuse and mental health. So they are hosting Prevention Day as they do annually. This year it's on February 3rd. And yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about what is Prevention Day, what prevention means to us, and the role that it plays in our lives. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to read you guys the three main goals and focuses of Prevention Day. So their three goals are preventing the initiation of substance use, preventing the progression of substance use, and preventing the harms associated with substance use. So, knowing those goals, how do you feel that our work impacts substance use? I would say, just to get us started, we're talking about the initiation of substance use. Most people who use substances and abuse substances start when they're young. So, what do you think the importance of youth prevention is?
It's important because it allows other youth to know that you don't have to smoke or drink to fit in or be cool or whatever, or just to even get past life. There's healthier alternatives to doing all that, for example, being in a healthy friend group. That's where it all really starts. Being in the right crowd of people will lead you or guide you to what you keep doing in life, especially for high school, since you're there for 4 years. So if you're going to be with that same friend group for all 4 years and they're a bad influence, you might be an addict. No, you will be an addict when you're older. So you just got to find the right group of people. So that's why our group is effective.
And what about you, Hannah? Anything you think about what we do?
I just agree strongly with Jada. I mean, finding your group of people and sticking with them and making sure that they aren't bad influences.
Yep, finding good influences. Alrighty. And then
disagree. That's all right.
Oh,
I said I strongly agree.
Okay. And so what specifically do we do that you think helps the most with prevention? What's something that really has stuck with you about what we do?
I think the peer-to-peers.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
And going to middle schools, because it also does start in middle school too. Because those friend groups also do carry on into high school.
Yeah, and then just being able to go to other middle schools and talking to the kids, and they get a youth perspective instead of an adult, because a lot of kids are just oh, here's another adult telling me this, that, where if it's someone around your age, it's oh, okay, this might be serious, so maybe I should listen, maybe I should stop being an addict.
Yeah, I think it's always more impactful to hear it from somebody your age, somebody that you feel related to.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go into that. So we all obviously are in written youth prevention. I'm the council here. So what do you think how did you end up in this group, and what is your passion behind prevention? If you want me to go,
yeah,
I'll go
you should
first.
Go
Okay. So I was one of the first members in the group. And so when we originally joined, it was COVID. So first of all, I was looking for something to do. And then second of all, I just knew the way Omar described it to us, I knew it was going to be fun, and I knew it was going to have an impact. And then also, I think everyone has some form of personal connection to drug abuse or substance abuse in their life. And I did, and it was really prevalent for me at that time. I was really going through it. So I felt like I could help other people, like the people that I knew. And so I was like, of course, like I would love to do this. This is a great opportunity. And yeah, as I've gotten more into it, I want to go into medicine one day. And a lot of people get hooked on prescription drugs because their doctor prescribes it to them. So just knowing that one day I could have the power to put somebody on the wrong path, it makes you more aware of what you're doing and the impacts of drugs and alcohol. So I think it's important to be familiar with prevention in any field.
I like that. You want to go next since you're I'm technically the newest.
Okay. I don't even know how long ago I joined. I would say like 2 years ago. I joined because I was playing sports after school, and I was doing, I think, flag football with Coach O. And he came to the school and he seen me play. And then my guidance counselor has stopped me because I was also newly diagnosed with diabetes. So she stopped me and she was like, well, your sugar's always high, you're always playing sports, and they're looking for new people who aren't like, don't do drugs per se, who like wants to help their community, and I think you're a good fit for it. And then when they told me who was like the head person, or kind of like the head person, it was Coach O, and I was like, oh yeah, 100% I'll do that. And I think I joined because I seen my peers starting in middle school smoking in the bathrooms all the time. And I didn't like the smell. I didn't like there's another girl who had newly gotten diagnosed with diabetes who would always smoke in the like bathrooms. And like I seen how it affected her, and I didn't want that to affect me per se.
Yeah.
And I seen like the outcome it had on a bunch of my peers and even athletes surrounding me going into New Bern High. I know a lot of people who do it, and I see the outcome, and I just wanted to help the people around me and around my community.
Yeah. So wait, before Jada starts, I know that you were saying that you have type 1 diabetes,
Yes.
right? What if you know, like, what are the impacts of drinking or smoking that would
Well,
have
obviously
on
your sugar's gonna go up. But I don't really know 100%. I know that if your sugar's high, you lose weight because your body starts to burn fat to like kind of create like a way to get rid of those high glucose molecules per se. And so you lose weight. You could lose your vision.
Imagine
those are
that
scary
impacting you,
things.
and you're an athlete. So
No, literally. Or like, I know like you could be like, you could have limbs cut off. I'm not gonna lie.
I've heard of that. Like,
yeah, you
especially
could
like your
definitely,
feet.
yeah, your toes and like your arms. And I just don't want that to
No,
happen.
that's
I mean,
really scary.
you're like a multi-athlete, so
100%.
I wouldn't want my foot cut off either.
Right?
Imagine running with one foot.
Exactly. Like, oh,
And that's something that you have to, like, you can't reverse that. Like, once
Right.
it's gone, it's gone.
like, oh yeah, I'm
Right.
missing 3 toes. Like, yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
just
and like
stitch
you're
them
so
back
young.
on. And like you're not
Yeah,
gonna have
exactly.
feeling in your toes either if you put them back on.
No, that is
Oh
not
my
cute. Let's not talk about feet anymore. Okay. Anyways, so Jada, how was your journey to prevention?
So I joined about a year ago, when doing summer youth employment, and the lady who runs it, Letitia, she was like, "Oh, like, do you know like any of these options like that you want in mind to do?" I was like, "I really don't care. Just put me anywhere." And she was like, "Oh, I think you'll really like working here at City Hall with Mallory and Coach O." It's like, okay, why not? So I did it, and then I saw like you guys, so I saw people I knew already. So I'm like, okay, like
Mhm.
I already know about this group a little
Mhm.
bit. And like as the days went on and we did those fun activities of like, going around and spreading prevention,
Mhm.
it started like, how do I say it? Like it had an impact on me. And I was like, wow, like I really want to do this group. Like it seems really interesting. And if I'm only doing it for like a month or so, imagine me doing it full time. And the reason why I joined it, because like Hannah said, my peers as well started smoking in middle school.
Mhm.
And I saw like the impact it did on them as well. I'm like, dang, like you guys are in 8th grade and look at how it has you right now.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we're going to high school and it's gonna be
Much
a bigger,
worse.
right, a bigger like influence. And also my bio dad was like addicted to smoking and drinking. He probably still is. I don't know. But like I saw
Jada.
like I mean, I'm being honest, you know. I saw the impact it did on him and how much it affected me just being
Mhm.
around it.
Yeah,
Like
like
it
your
was always
family.
just so negative and everything.
Mhm.
And I would always tell my mom, like, I just don't want that for me. That's not where I want to be. She was like, okay, then, spread that you don't want to do that.
Mhm.
Spread prevention. And then it was like just so happened to like connect that I joined this group and now it's like I'd be looking at that and I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, I do have a relative in my family who is also like that, who's addicted. And I remember being younger, I had gone into that relative's room and I thought it was candy. Thank God I knew how to read. So I went to like pick it up and I was going to eat it, going to take a bite out of it. And I read it and it said like it was edible. And I was like, whoa, like that's scary. So I put it back and then I was talking to my mom about it and I was like, Ma, like that relative, like all their decisions are so negative and they always have a negative outcome, like you said.
Mhm.
And like it impacted our family a lot. So my mom always was like, well, there's going to be role models in your life, positive and negative. Like, see what they did wrong and reverse it so you don't end up like that.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
So that's another reason why I'm here.
Yeah. And like back to like how you said, thank God you knew how to read because like when we do our peer-to-peer presentations and we mention like, oh, they make it look like everyday
No,
items that
literally
we're
they
used
do.
to, like imagine,
It was like a Sour Patch Kid watermelon.
yeah, see, like
I was like,
imagine,
I was like, ooh, that looked good.
Imagine if you were younger,
No,
you couldn't
literally,
read
if I
Right,
was
that.
like-
yeah.
if I was like 5 years old, because it was out in the open.
see, that's one, you shouldn't have that out in the open.
No, literally.
And then like imagine if you were 5, 4 and you
Right.
didn't know how to read and you're just like, oh, look, it's colorful. It looks so like,
It looks like my candy that I
right.
ate
And
20
then,
minutes ago.
right. And then you eat it and now, you know,
Yeah. And that's why this is so important because it could happen to anybody at any time. And like the kids in our community are really affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of brings us to our next question. How do you think prevention is important to our community? Like, what are some of the negative impacts that drug use or substance use in general has on our community? And how do you see prevention helping that?
the crazy part is like with drugs and everything, it could happen like so sudden and you wouldn't even know it. Like I remember that incident at Slade where that kid like, just
Mhm.
touched something and then he got laced. Like it's so crazy now how like it can be anywhere. Like I can literally see $1 on the floor, grab it, it's laced with fentanyl and now I'm affected by it.
Right.
And that's also due to like everyone in the community just not caring, like not knowing that there's like kids around and everything. Like for example, I'm in child development, so like our teacher would have us monitor the playscape before we go, and then there's like vapes and stuff on the floor, and it's like, again, if a kid sees that, put it in their mouth, now they have nicotine and everything and all
Yeah.
other chemicals, it's just gonna affect them, and they're younger and they're still like developing and everything, so it's gonna definitely have a more worse impact on them than it would on us. So like preventing like kids from not doing this and everything, and even adults, like it's a big thing because like to keep our youth safe, because that's where it all starts, since like all adults say we're the future.
Mhm.
But like how could we be the future if the people we are looking up to are hurting us?
That was really
Y'all,
well
that was
said.
crazy. I never
was really
guys, let me
good.
tell y'all, that's never happening again. Like that, damn.
That was good.
Toll on me.
Um, I, like she said, I am a multi-sport athlete. So being a leader, and I take that really to heart. So I feel like being on my teams, even representing New Britain, when you go to other schools and they're like, oh, that's New Britain. Oh, New Britain. Like, New Britain always has some type of like, I don't.
It's always negative.
Yeah,
Like,
some type
they're
of
always
like,
New Britain's so ghetto. New Britain's
yes.
this, New
And
Britain's
like, I don't like hearing that about my community because I know we have so many positive.
Yeah, there's so much good here.
Yes,
that
there's so
people
much
only care
good.
about the bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
like, yeah, we might have some negative, but there's
There's
positive.
a lot of
There's a
positive,
lot of
and
positive.
I hate when they bring New Britain down because it happens in other towns too. So that, and like some of the athletes, I'm not gonna lie, they do make some poor decisions and
Mhm.
end up taking that path in life, and just being their teammate and looking at them and is like, what are you doing for yourself? Like, we're here, we're a family. Like, we want to help you just even make it out of high school. So when like you're wearing that New Britain jersey, I don't want to see you doing anything like that. Cause now they have more things to say about New Britain.
It just gives it a worse outlook.
Yeah.
And then
So
that's the thing, like, we're all athletes here in our
100%.
way. And it's just like, yeah, we're all athletes. And it's like, when seeing other athletes like smoke and drink, like, you're
I just
doing that
can't.
while doing sports, like,
It gives me the ick. I can't lie.
it is, because it's like, you're
I-
smoking and you're doing track. How are you
That's
running?
crazy.
How are you
That's
doing that?
I don't know how that's possible. Like,
Like,
how do you have the stamina for that?
That's what I'm
like,
like, look, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
I can't even run
That's what I'm
3
saying.
laps around that track.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, when we're doing that lap around Chesley for
Yo,
softball,
Yo,
you'll be killing me. Like, let me tell you, I
had like an asthma attack.
yeah, when Hannah ran it, guys, let me tell you a quick story real quick before we go back on track. Hannah, when she ran that lap for the first time, I literally had to carry her, and I
Bro,
felt
literally,
so
she
bad.
carried me.
I felt so bad, 'cause, like, she was not used to running that. So
You ran on the whole
The
whole
the
park?
whole park, yeah.
The whole Chesley
We
Park.
just do one because, since it's a big area. But that's the thing, like, you're smoking.
I wasn't used to it at all.
No,
so
it
like,
got-
imagine if I was smoking. Plus, I'm asthmatic.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, and then that's another thing. You're an athlete. You're smoking and you have asthma, bro. How are you breathing? Like, please explain.
I can't. I can't do it.
Like, and it just makes me think. Like, I question when I see people that, like, I know.
Like, if you know you have a health condition,
Why-
why are you doing
affects
something
your
to make
breathing
your health
already.
Like,
worse?
yeah, let's make it worse. Like,
Yes,
okay,
literally.
now you're gonna walk and you're gonna be like, like,
I'm tired of going
And
up
we're
them
young.
stairs
Like,
at school.
you should be able to walk up the stairs, like, and not be like out of breath, dying. Like,
yeah.
some of these people, it's like,
Well, you see, sometimes.
okay, that's
No, let me tell you, the stairs are ours.
okay. That's a little
You
different.
gotta
But
look
like,
into it.
They're a little steep.
I'm just saying, like, if you're this young and this is
Yeah.
already how your health is,
100%.
how are you gonna
Imagine
get
when you
older?
Bro, you're gonna
Right, like,
your breasts are gonna be so short.
you're gonna be
like,
so out of shape. You can't do
100%.
anything. Okay, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Like,
It's crazy work.
I won't.
Literally crazy work. Crazy work.
Yeah, and like, I know some athletes, like you were saying.
100%.
Won't say names, of course, but
Obviously not.
like, I just
Very
like
secretive.
I feel bad for them too, because it's like, you think like that's something that like helps you cope, but in reality, it's just it's just affecting you.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not see the effects now, but
you're
in
gonna
the
see them
long
later.
run, like you said, when you're older, oh yeah, you're gonna be breathing horrible.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to walk, no nothing. And then when you get your toes chopped off, like Hannah was saying, like, I mean, if that's the way you want to live, I mean, I guess.
Yeah. But then just to bring it back to how our work impacts our community, if we're talking about sports is a big part of your community. Like,
Mhm.
that's something that everyone kind of rallies around.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give your all. You can't give your best performance
Mhm.
if your body's not in peak condition. And your
Right.
body can't be in peak condition if you're drinking, if you're smoking, if you're
Mhm.
taking drugs, if you're doing whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you representing the town? How are you representing our
Right.
school? How are you representing yourself, your teammates?
Right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if you're not giving 110%, then your teammates and everything too, they're gonna be like, okay, so we don't need to give 110%, and then
It's
it
not-
just
it's
So it
not
just
even-
it just trickles down.
It's not even
Exactly.
like we don't want to give 110%. It's just like now we're kind of dragging dead weight. And it's like, we
Right.
thought,
too.
like, we see so much potential in you, but now you're making these decisions. Now you're just there.
Yeah, and
Now
that's
you're
not
just a
just
spot
in
on the
sports.
roster.
Right.
That's in school. That's in
100%.
your job. That's everywhere. If
100%.
you are on substances, you're not in your right mind. You're not contributing to the community. You're not making people around you better. You're not giving what you need to give so that the community can be
No,
uplifted.
it's
Like,
not giving.
it's
What
not
supposed to give?
giving. It's
Like, cause now,
not.
like, now I'm dragging what you were supposed to do, and now I'm doing that times
Yeah,
two.
it just
like,
it's so
Now
unproductive.
I actually have to run to the first base.
right. Like now I gotta
I
run.
actually have to
Like
steal.
now I gotta steal because you didn't want to be
Because you want to jog to second base.
right.
Like, no, honestly.
But yeah.
So, if you guys are ready, we'll go to our next question. So, this one might be kind of hard to answer, but was there any like specific moment through youth prevention where you saw the impact that you have on people or the impact of prevention? Like, I know you guys both talked
Like
about
positive
peer
or
to peer,
negative?
positive.
Yeah, actually, I can.
When you did the peer-to-peers.
Yeah, so when I did the peer-to-peers, like I knew a lot of the middle schoolers since, from us being there and everything. So when they saw like the first few times when I went and I was doing the presentations, they were like, "Oh, like that's Jada, like I already know her, blah blah blah." Blah." And like I would have some of those kids come up to me and be like, "Oh, like, how do you get into this group? Like I think this group is very interesting. Like, I want to help my friends to do this and everything." Or they'll be like, "Oh, like I really like how you told me about all this negative stuff about vaping or drinking. Like, now I want to stop." And even now in high school, like I have a lot of my friends like, "How do you get into this program or everything?" And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a good program and everything. And if we like we're not a small group, but we're like a decent amount. But imagine if like there was so much more people, like how much more we could be affecting the community in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
So it all started with the peer-to-peers, for me at least.
I haven't done any peer-to-peers yet because I was always at sports, but I think, like
Is
what
there
you said,
any-
just showing up at like the community events, like giving back to our community. When you see so many people, like I know a lot of people, that's so bad. I feel like I know a bunch of people in the community, or at least a lot of people know me. That sounded cocky.
It's okay, keep going.
Hey, it's okay.
But but like they're like, "Oh, like you said, how do I get into this program?" Like they think it's cool cuz we're giving back to our community, but we're also students at the same time. So the fact that we're balancing both, I think.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like you have such a big impact and we're only
Right.
like teenagers.
Real-
Like we're just youth. So like when other youth see that, they get influenced by it and they're like, "Oh, like maybe I want to do this and everything." And like you said, it's like balancing and everything. And even just talking good about this program, because let me tell you, I get any chance I can to talk about this program. I
Literally.
love talking about it.
Or just wearing our
Yeah.
merch around school.
Oh, yeah,
and
for
like,
sure.
People be like,
Literally,
"What's
how do-
that? How do you get that? I
that?
want
I
a
got
shit
it
like
right
that."
on my backpack, the little heart thing. It's
Yes,
so
like,
cute.
I wore this to school today.
Yeah, I was gonna
actually.
say, like, I be wearing these shirts to school and everything. And they're like, "Oh, how do I get one?" and everything. Like, just talking good about the program also does like a big impact because it's like now more people know about it. Now more people want to join it and give back to the community, like you were saying.
Yeah, and you can like really see what you're doing. I'd say something like for me, this is kind of weird because it's not really about the youth, but the same summer that Jada started with us, we did a presentation at the senior center and it was all these old people, but they were so happy to see us. And they were like, "This is amazing. Like they never had anything like this when I was a kid and this and this and that." And it's something that you don't think of because I think now, like, we see our generation, we think, "Oh, it's so bad, it's so bad." But, like, you also think about their generation. They
Right.
had cigarettes. They had,
literally.
it probably was just as bad, but
Yeah.
it's
Not
just not really
worse.
talked about anymore. But you think about, like, what a program like this could have been doing for so much longer. But now, like, prevention is becoming more of a big deal. And, like, it's becoming more of a widespread thing that we do. So, like, now we get to have that impact, but like
Mhm.
other generations didn't have that, and like
Right.
we're starting it, and it'll keep going. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
feel like
as it goes on. Yeah.
that was something that I never really thought of, but it was like, oh wow, like that's kind of cool.
No, that's actually so
That's so
cool.
cute.
Oh, they were so
Right.
cute.
I bet they
love
were
old
like
people. No, they make me want to cry. Okay. So what else we're going to talk about is we're going to talk a little bit about CADCA. So I know, Hannah, you haven't been to CADCA
I heard
yet.
a lot about it though.
But yeah, so CADCA is hold on, let me look at the definition. Let me
the
just make
correct
sure
definition.
I'm getting it right.
Yeah, because they changed it.
Because it's like, yeah, they changed it, like what it stands for. CADCA is Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. And so it's like a national organization for groups like us to get resources and be educated about the newest findings in prevention. And so they host these conferences. They call it Forum in mid-year. So for 2 years, we went to Forum, and Forum is every year in February in Washington, D.C. And then this past year, we went to mid-year in Chicago in July. And so CADCA and SAMHSA work very closely together with prevention. So we felt like this would be a good opportunity to talk about CADCA and how that impacted us and what we could learn from it. So, Jada, I know you had a great time in
Yes, guys,
Chicago.
let me tell you.
You
It
wanna
was
start
my
talking
first-
about
Them
that?
Instagram pictures I was seeing.
Yes, guys.
They were outside.
Yes,
we were outside.
We were outside. Obviously PG, very much.
Oh,
CADCA
100%.
outside.
Yeah,
It's a
CADCA
little
outside, not
different.
like no,
Not y'all
100%.
outside.
Not like we were just talking about.
Right. Not that outside.
Okay.
But yeah, it was my first conference, so it was really like, it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was also really fun getting to meet like new people from all around the world that also want to spread prevention as well. We did a bunch of like little breakout sessions in rooms and stuff, and they were like all different like every day. And the one that really like stuck to me was like happiness in our community.
Mhm.
And we had to do like this little group like project on like how do we lift our community. So the like people I was with like Alex, AJ, were you no you were
No,
with
me and Daniel were in the ENIAC sessions.
Liv, and there was like, well, besides you and Daniel, all of us were in that, and we all made like a little drawing on how we lifted up our community. And like hearing like other people talk about the way they lift up their community like had such a positive like impact on me, because it was like, how can I take this and like put it in our community and now spread it and everything like that. Another thing that really like stuck to me was like the bags for the pills to dispose of them. So basically, if you don't know what it is, it's like a baggie, and you'll put pills that like you don't take anymore.
Like a Dateria bag.
Daterra,
Yeah,
yep.
Daterra,
Daterra.
yeah. So like,
Yes,
and if you have
Anna.
just like
Smart.
if you have pills just lying around in your like house that you don't take, or that just don't need to be there, and you want to get rid of them correctly, you'll put them in that bag with some water and like shake it up, and then like it'll dissolve and everything like that, instead of just throwing them in the garbage and then people like around the streets can get it.
Yeah,
and
or
then,
if you flush them down the toilet, then they're in our water system.
right.
Like it's just.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like
That's
one thing, like it's like, oh, it doesn't cross your mind, but then it's like it can have such a like crazy impact. Like if you flush it down the toilet and it gets into our water system, like, okay, now I'm drinking fentanyl water. Like,
Okay.
Oh wow, that's very harsh.
That was a jump.
well, you have to think about it like that.
But yeah.
You went from here to here. Come back down.
I mean, if you really think about it, it's like that though, because like
yeah.
That's true.
you wouldn't know unless, I mean, you have a
Unless-
purifier. Then okay,
Okay,
props to you.
bougie.
Right, props to
Bouge
you.
and fouge.
But but yeah, CADCA was overall a really fun experience. I hope you go with us next year, because I think you'll
I'm gonna
really
try.
like it too.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it.
But I was playing softball. I had travel.
Yeah, see,
It's around that time.
Because
you're a
you're locked in.
multi-athlete,
You're
right?
locked
You locked
in.
in.
A lot of sports at one time.
Hey, it's gonna look good for college.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
No,
Back to Katka, guys.
Yeah, but I think that like what Jada was saying in the beginning, like the thing about CADCA was that you got to see people from other communities, like very different from us. Like we met
very.
some people from Kansas, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like I live like an hour away from the nearest grocery store." Like what?
Like what?
It was like crazy to hear.
Hour away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're
'cause,
like,
like-
wait, you have this, and it's like you don't.
Or like they're like, "What's Connecticut?" And we're
Yeah.
like, "It's next to New York." Like people like
Oh.
it's just so different. Like you think like, "Oh, it's one country. Like we're all
Mhm.
pretty much the same." But no, it really is so different from one community to the next. But think that learning from other people and what works for them and what they do or what they have learned, it was a great way to like build on what we are going to do here. We got a lot of ideas. And it's also just like reassuring to hear that
Mhm.
other people care about what you care about.
Right.
Mhm.
Cuz I know like sometimes here it feels like
No one
like
cares.
nobody like listens to us.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. But it was just like really encouraging, like, hey, like what you're doing is important. Like we care about it too.
Right, like connecting with other youth that just
Mhm.
want to spread prevention as well. So
Yeah, it was really nice.
it was.
And it was really fun.
But you've been there longer. You were like the OG for CADCA. So how
Yeah.
was like mid-year different from
Forum.
I
Forum?
would say mid-year and forum were pretty similar in like the structure of it all. I would say that forum is a lot bigger. Like there was a lot more people there. Not necessarily as much youth. I think mid-year had more youth because like that makes sense. Like it's in the summertime. For forum, we had to miss school. So like I think a lot of kids don't really go to forum because missing school is like a big thing. So I think mid-year definitely was more youth centered.
Mhm.
Like there was a lot more youth. They had a lot more activities for us and we got to meet a lot more youth. But like obviously CADCA's been like really important in my life because like it's a great opportunity. Like we got to travel, we got to experience so many new things, and like now me and Daniel are on their National Youth Advisory Council. So Ona.
For snaps.
Ona. So
That's
just-
Guys, I'm sorry.
we get like the same way that we did those breakout trainings at CADCA, we kind of get those throughout the year on these Zoom meetings that we do, and we're working on like different projects and different like all different kinds of things. Like they're reformatting the group to make it more just like more educational for us and giving us more opportunities. So I think that to have a big organization like that really cares about what you're doing, it kind of it just feels good to have somebody like somebody else like to look up to, some kind of model to have, like a role model. And yeah, that's pretty much it about CADCA. But yeah, I think Hannah, you would really enjoy it. You would really benefit from it.
Yeah, and you're very outgoing. So like
Yeah, I feel like you would meet a lot of people.
Yeah, you definitely.
You never
I
know.
have
who
friends
you're
in
gonna
Kansas,
meet.
I guess.
Literally, we do. We have
And-
friends in Kansas now.
And like what was so like also fun about that is like we ended up making such a big group chat with like a lot of people that we met at CADCA on Snapchat. So
Yeah, and we were just like people
Uh,
were playing games and like
Mhm.
people were meeting up and doing this and this and that.
and
I'm scared to meet up.
yeah, and like it was
Okay, well we were all staying in the same hotel
Yeah.
and we're all
I
kids
know.
in prevention. So it's not like it was like
it's like
doing crazy stuff.
Right.
Like we were playing like board games. Like
yeah,
Calm
and
down.
it was really like cool, and it was also nice making that group chat, and like now there's like so many people, like so many youth in there, and it's like from all around the world. Like we would send snaps to each other, like I'm in school right now and it's 3:00 in the morning for somebody else. Like
yeah, that's the other
it
thing.
was
Like
crazy.
I can't fathom that other places in the country.
Time zone.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's completely unrelated, but that makes no sense to me. I don't understand time
No,
zones
I
at
don't
all.
either. Like when
They make my brain hurt.
like how?
does.
How?
literally because
How's
like
my 3 a.m. your 5
yeah,
p.m.?
because we would
Like
send
did it art? I don't. Okay, I can't even.
No,
I can't
it
talk
was
about
so
'cause it stresses me
confusing.
out.
Like because so like everyone in the group chat was sending like snaps to each other, right? Just of like what we were doing. Like I remember sending like one time I was like at school and it's like 11 and then someone snaps me and it's 2 o'clock in the morning over there, and I'm like, why? First of all, why
Why
are
are
you
you
up?
awake?
Why are you
2
up?
a.m.
Why are you up?
I'm
And
in bed by
2,
9.
and 2, like, how is it 2? Like, you should be in school with me right
Right?
now. What are we doing?
I don't understand. I don't understand. And like, okay, so if it's 2 a.m. there, did 11 here already happen? Or are
Right,
they
like-
behind us?
Like,
I don't understand. It makes me really like, okay.
Makes-
Anyway, we'll move on. We'll go to our next question. All right. So what was the most important thing that you feel like you took away from CADCA? ...
I mean, I kind of already like went over it, like meeting other people and like knowing what they do like in their community and then trying to bring it back here. I think that was just like the biggest like intake, because it's like I can tell you things that we do here at my community that work, and I can share it to you, and now you're sharing what you do at your community to me, and now we could pass it on and then see if that makes like, you know, prevention like boost in a positive way or if it goes down. And then obviously if it goes down, you can just go back to
Trial and error.
right, and you can just, you know, go back to
See
like
what
what you were
works.
doing or find other ways to do it, because like you said, we were meeting people from all around the world, so it's like I don't have to just do this one thing. I can do this or that. Like I know when we went to CADCA, we influenced so many people with just our gear.
Our merch, yeah.
Like we had these
Really?
we had these really nice green shirts, and they say like
They
influencer,
said influencer on the back. Yeah,
On the
those
back.
are
I seen
tough.
those.
and like everyone's like jaw was like to the ground. They were like, "You guys have merch."
And our colors are so like different. Like I feel like
I feel like
nobody,
they're
It's
so
bright.
nobody
cute.
had our colors. Like
no, yeah,
it
they
was
were all like
very like
blue,
unique.
like
I
it
like
was
our
all
yeah,
logo
blue,
too.
red.
blue, red, yeah, and our logo too.
Because
Like
we're just different.
We're
right.
like that.
So like when we were like talking, like when I was talking to people, and I was like, yeah, like we have shirts, we have socks. They're like, you have socks? What?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness,
They
I
were
wore my
so
socks yesterday.
shocked.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like
I think
it was.
that's Omar's favorite part.
I
Omar
know.
loves
I
to
love
go. He loves to go to CADCA and like
Show off.
brag about
yeah,
us.
like yeah, we have merch, guys.
He's
Like,
like our kid.
Or
He,
just even in
he plays
different
our
communities.
PSA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Omar's favorite
Or
thing
just
to do.
like even
Brag
in our
about
own
us.
community.
Yeah,
right, like
like my
Those-
kids.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
my kids, yeah.
Their grades are outstanding.
See,
Fantastic.
my kids, they do like 5 sports.
Sports.
Like, can your students do that? Like,
Wow, maintaining
He'd
the
be like,
outstanding
that's my
grades.
girl.
that- guys, him going to like our games,
Oh my
he's
goodness,
such
it's so
like a
cute.
dad, and it's the
Yes.
best thing ever. Like when he went to our softball
Oh
game
my
and I
goodness,
seen him
it
in his
was-
bright yellow
His
New
bright
Britain
yellow-
merch,
yes.
I was like, that's dad. That's our dad.
Or like he'll be like in the outfield, and you could spot him wherever, and like he'd be like,
He just stands there. He's like, let's go, come on. And it's so funny, but like,
and then like he'll like actually talk to you about it.
Yeah.
After.
but I think that's like back to like one of the first questions, like why I wanted to join, like, because
Yeah.
all you guys have such a positive, like,
Yeah.
you guys just have positive energy,
Yeah, and, like,
positive
this is
vibe.
just like
And we're
the
always there for each
relationships.
other.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like I could trust you guys too. Like
Right, like I don't have to like act out or anything. Like I
Right.
can be myself, and like we all get along or connect in some type
there's
of way at
always
the
some
end.
sort
Yeah.
of laughing.
like
Right.
even
on.
if like because I feel like it's crazy. Like we're all very different. Like we all
100%.
are from
Very.
like
Different
maybe like in
backgrounds.
school like we wouldn't have been
I wouldn't have
like
met you in
we wouldn't
school.
have met each other. We wouldn't have been friends. But like
right.
we're here and we're all friends and we all
Mhm.
get to do all these fun things together. And
then
that's
also
something
builds
cool.
positive
Yeah.
relationships inside of school too. So
That was
Yeah.
something big. Like when we first joined the group, we were in 7th grade. And like Daniel and Alanis and them, they were in high school. So like you also have somebody who like
There's always
is
older
going
than you.
through it before you. So like you
Mhm.
you can get advice from
Mhm.
them. You have somebody to look up to. Like it's just a great like kind of mentorship program
Mhm.
too, because obviously we're not going to be in youth prevention forever. Like we're going to
Yeah.
have to go to college or go away to
Leave you.
school.
Yeah, you
Same.
guys
And,
are
like,
all older than me.
Yeah, so like as more people, like younger people join, like you, like Mariah, like all of
Mhm.
all of you guys, as you guys join, Amanda, everyone,
Oh yeah.
as you guys join, like we're trying to teach you how we do things,
Right.
but like also like we're helping you out with like whatever advice you need so that
Right.
the group can keep going.
Yeah. So then when you get to our position, like
You can do
you
the
can do
same
the
thing.
You
same.
guys
right.
sound really old right now.
I mean, if you think about
girl, we
it,
got like a
we
year
got a year
left.
left, and that's
You guys
so
are 1 year
crazy.
older than me.
Yeah, but that's still just so crazy to
That's
say.
still. I
It
feel like
goes
it's a
like
big difference.
really
though.
It
fast.
is. It is. Like
I think so too.
a lot of people don't see
Honestly.
it that way, but like when you're in groups and stuff like this, it's like especially for band, like I can't believe like 3 years have already gone by that quick, and like
Yeah.
next year I'm leaving. Like that's so sad to
Because it's like
think.
you spend so much time doing things like this,
Mhm.
and then like all of a sudden like it's over. But like that's also kind of like the nice thing. Like in band, we just had our alumni night, and so like that's the
Mhm.
same thing. Like with this, like maybe we'll go away to college, but like when we come
Well,
back here,
yeah.
the group is still gonna be here. The group is still gonna be doing great things. So like that's
Yeah.
something that like I could take comfort in.
Yeah. I like that, like, when I do go to college and then come back, like this will still be a group, band will still be a thing, like, the sports at the high school and stuff like that. Like, cause then I can come back
Girl.
to it and be like, wow, like I did this
Yeah,
a
like
few years ago.
I
Or even helping
impacted this
people who are
Right.
program.
younger,
Yeah.
or even helping people that are younger than you.
Cause that's where it
Like,
starts.
Mm-hmm.
Being a little mentor,
Yeah, a little
Mhm.
giving them
mentor,
advice.
a leader.
A leader,
A leader.
leader,
Okay.
leadership roles, guys.
One last piece of advice when it comes to prevention. This is something that we kind of talked about, but you don't have to be in New Britain Youth Prevention to make an impact
Mhm.
on the community. Like, yes, we would love to have more people join our group, but there's only so many people that we can handle and like in our space. Like, there's only so much till it gets to be unproductive. So if you're passionate about prevention, if you are seeing like a problem in your friend group, in your family, like don't be afraid to say something. Ask somebody maybe who's in youth prevention, go on our website, check us out, but find somebody, some kind of resource, because you can still have an impact on that person's life.
Yeah, bouncing off to like what you said, like a piece of advice is like just be a leader. Like even when no one is watching. Like you don't have to be in this group or like a prevention group to prevent, like just talking to your peers and saying like, hey, don't do this, and trying to like, convince them to not smoke, drink, take drugs and everything could benefit. And it could impact the other person. Maybe they needed that hearing for them to stop.
Yeah.
So you just never know. So yeah, always be a leader.
My piece of advice is kind of like your guys'. Like, be a leader because you don't know who else is watching, and you don't know who you can impact at any point of time.
Yeah. I
And
really
yeah,
like
and then
that.
who knows, you doing all that leadership can get you into groups like this. Or
Like her
create your
story.
Start your own.
or start your own,
yes.
right? Like you never know where it could take you. Like Annalise said, this group at first was very small,
There
and
was like 4 people,
there was,
right?
like,
there was
five
like
of us, I
five,
think.
and now there's like what?
Like
There's
there's like 20
what,
of us.
20 of us?
What,
Like
20?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that, like a group starting with 4 kids, and now
Wow.
it's at 20.
I didn't know it was
Your
at
face.
20.
Yeah, and then
Period.
then like it just
I feel
expands
special.
from there. Yep. From what?
One
How
of
many kids are
20.
here in this
A lot.
population?
From
a
a
lot.
big city.
Right. You're
One of 20.
one of 20.
Wow.
That's so crazy to say.
Thank you, prevention. God bless.
End it right there. What?
Okay.
End it right
Wait,
there.
no, okay, guys, we have to actually say thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, what do we?
Just say like thank you for
Okay.
watching.
Bye, guys. Thank you
So,
for watching.
Do you guys
Okay,
want to do
bye.
like,
Thank you for
Bye,
watching.
guys.
bye?
Thank you for watching.